My name is Norma, and today I'm going to be discussing the Quercus Primus L, which is also known as the chestnut oak. These are the list of topics I will be discussing today. So, about the native range and habitat, the species is found within the New England states and down the coast and around Alabama and near the Appalachian Mountains as well. So in this location, the cove, they typically do a lot much better in that area because the soil is much more nutrient rich, and they end up growing up to 95 feet tall and 32 inches in diameter. The soils are well drained and they're fertile, so these are the typical things that they need in order to thrive. But compared to the ridges, which is more of a rocky type of environment, the Quercus Primus usually grows up to 55 feet and 23 inches in diameter, which is a significant difference. The soils have high pH levels and they are sterile and aren't as well drained, so these are things that they are able to adapt to, and they make great competitors against other species. They are able to tolerate sand, clay, rocky and acidic oils. They have a really high drought tolerance as well. They are resistant to fire. They don't have many pests or any diseases to worry about. They're not susceptible to much. But they are part of the beech family, which is called the Fabaceae family, and they are a dicot angiosperm. So about the growth form, they're considered a hardwoody plant, which just means that they're a dicot angiosperm, as I mentioned before. They're monoecious, which means that they both have male and female parts in one individual. And they are periannual, not as what it says right there, but they continue to grow each year after remaining dormant through the winters. The seeds do not have a dormancy period, so they germinate between September and October, and the tree has a lifespan of about 120 years. The seeds they're adaptable to dry soils because they have a thick parenchyma layer to the acorn, which is able to absorb and retain any moisture. The flowers and leaves end up developing around the same time. So the male flowers develop first before the first bud expansion, and then the female flowers will develop soon after. Any temperatures below 16 degrees Celsius will inhibit any shoot development, but as soon as the temperature rises and warms up, shoot development will resume. So reproduction, so they are oviparous, which means that they can reproduce multiple times within their lifetime, compared to semmelparous, where they can only reproduce once. Their acorn reproduction is very low and erratic. The good years of seed production that they have is rare and very infrequent, but after a good seed year, the following year, they typically don't do that well. They produce less. But the seeds are very susceptible to destruction by worms and squirrels and any other consumers around the environment. So germination rates are pretty low, but trees can start producing acorns around 20 years of age. And the dissemination is usually through gravity and squirrels. But according to a study, the acorns that the Quercus Primus creates aren't the most favorable compared to other species out there, so that could be another reason why squirrels aren't really dispersing them out as much as the trees would want, and can also contribute to low germination rates. But to have a better reproductive success, the chestnut oak trees should be in close proximity, especially those that can produce viable acorn and pollen. So So about the sexual and gender systems, they typically outcross with other species within the family. There's 7 known different species that they can hybridize with. They do not really participate in selfing, according to my research, but they are monoecious, like I said, so they're hermaphroditic. The catkins are the male parts and the pistillate are the female parts, and the males always develop before the females. And the catkins fertilize the pistillates through wind pollination. They do participate in asexual reproduction through vegetative asexual reproduction, and that's through any damages to the tops, or if they're dying off, then the seedlings can sprout from any dormant buds and asexually reproduce. Or they can you pause? Also, they can asexually reproduce through the stumps. The trees can sprout from any previous stumps, but the larger the tree, the less likely that will happen. And also, if it was cut during the growing season, it's even more less likely for it to happen. And ending with pollination mechanisms, like I mentioned before, that they use wind pollination, and they are very reliant on the weather to help them pollinate. They don't rely on any animal or insect pollinators whatsoever. So it's very crucial to have enough viable pollen within the areas, and be in a location where wind and weather is a main factor. To enhance pollination success, it's more reliant on temperature. So the higher temperatures in April enhance pollination by promoting shoot development and female and male reproductive parts. But the lower temperatures in May delay the pollen dispersal, which allows it to perfectly synchronously meet up together, these two timing events, and can have the best reproduction success. So that's about it about Quercus Primus, and my references are right here. And thank you for listening.